Hey, it is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Carissimo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time. It's our weekly live stream called Ask the Instructor. And what we're talking about this week is increasing your flows. And two ways we're going to talk about how you can do this, either making your current flow bigger or adding additional flows. And when I'm talking about flows, I'm talking about flows of income. This is what you constantly have to have your mind on if you want to increase your wealth, increase your cash flow, as they so often call it. If you want to increase your stability and security, having more flows of income and also making these flows not just little drips of income, but fire hoses of income. That's what we're talking about today. How to plan this out. Maybe you're thinking about getting your real estate license, or maybe you have your real estate license, but you're struggling to find time to actually practice real estate. That's what today's episode is all about. How to increase your flows, not only the number and the quantity, but also the quality of these flows as well. And this is what you constantly want to be working on to increase your level of income. So I'm super excited to bring today's show to you. I'm John Carissimo. The show is brought to you by Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Carissimo, and we do the show every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. It's live, so if you've got questions, if you've got comments, whether you love it or hate it, drop it in the comments. Let us know your feedback. If there's anything we could explain better, drop that in there as well, and we'll do everything we can to respond to you live here on the show, or if not, if you're watching the recording of this, just watch the comments because we'll always reply afterwards as well. But let's get right down to today's topic. Again, we're talking about increasing your income flows. We're talking about increasing not only the quantity of your cash flows, of your money flows, of your income flows, whatever you want to call it. So not only the quantity, but also the quality as well. So, I mean, if you study anybody that's attained really any success for that matter, a really long-standing success, it all comes down to not relying just on one single thing. Relying on multiple sources, multiple streams. Because let's just talk about the danger of one really quick. So the danger of one, I like to say one and you're done. Because what happens when you only have one of anything, you lose that one, and now you don't have anything. And this applies universally. You know, maybe you've got your real estate license and you're working with just one client. You should never be working at just one client at any point in time, because one client, something happens with that one client. Maybe something happens where they no longer want to buy, they no longer want to sell, they no longer want to do what they intended to do when they first contacted you. Now you're left with nothing. So one and you're done. And that's really about having the quantity here. But then we also have to increase the quality. That's, again, you want to translate everything it is that you're doing, the ultimate end goal. And look, you might be getting a real estate license because real estate interests you. You like the idea of being able to help people purchase real estate. You know, you like watching these shows in real estate and whatnot. But look, ultimately, if you're not making any money, if you don't make a penny working in real estate, you're probably not going to want to do it. Because that not only is a huge benefit, one of probably the biggest benefits is that you can control your income. But if you take that income away, you basically say, hey, yeah, you're doing this completely for free, no charge, and oh yeah, you do still have some expenses of running your business as well, but you're not going to make any money. I mean, you tell me that you're still interested in getting it started in real estate, and yes, you're a passionate person, but at some point, money's going to become an issue. And there's always these unexpected things that could happen. The unexpected things in your business, the unexpected things in your life. And if you don't have multiple sources of income, these unexpected things, remember, if you only have one, let's say that one client, and you know this one client seems like a sure thing. They seem like they're going to be a sure deal, that you're going to get a surefire way to make 10 grand off of this client based on the value of house that they're purchasing, but then that deal falls through because something unexpected happens. And these unexpected things happen. You just have to have the foresight to plan for them, and in order to do that, you want to make sure that you've got multiple. So with your real estate license, you're working with multiple clients simultaneously, buyers and sellers. You know, there is a little bit of thought process, a little bit of benefit to specializing in one or the other. But, you know, based on market trends, sometimes the market's better for buyers, sometimes the market's better for sellers. So you want to know how to work with either or, so that way the market doesn't necessarily dictate whether or not you make money. Maybe you're also now focusing on working with investors. Maybe you're focusing on working with investors because you know that when markets take a downturn, that's when investors really start to open their eyes and like, oh yeah, look at the deals available. Look, real estate has gone on sale. Let's go acquire some real estate. That's what happens when there's downturns in the market, and that's how some real estate professionals are able to be more successful in a down market than an up market, because most agents don't know how to work with investors. So you've got to be constantly thinking about how to increase the quality of your flows of income, so getting better at what it is that you're currently doing, but then also increasing the opportunities, increasing these other flows, having more ways it is that you can make money just than one. Now let's rewind a little bit, and let's say you don't even have your real estate license yet. Let's say you've got a job and you rely on this job for your sole source of income. Look, in 2019, there's no reason that any person should rely on just one source of income, whether that's your employer or whatever the case may be, because something happens that jeopardizes that flow of income and you're left with nothing. You know, a lot of people, they look at this and they're planning for this, you know, with 401ks, with IRAs and whatnot to, you know, give some security and safety, and that's great. That's a great start. But with that, you can't always control. I mean, you get penalized by the IRS for making withdrawals from these funds early. So that's a good start. But again, we want to constantly increase the quantity. Now, it's good to have, you know, those 401ks and IRAs and things like that, but in the present, they're a low quality source, because that money that you've got put in there, unless you want to take a penalty for withdrawing that money, which, look, I know a lot of people that, you know, have lost their job and they thank themselves like crazy for setting up that 401k or IRA or whatever the case may be, because it is a great option to get you through some rough times. But here's two things. Number one, if that 401k is reliant on another flow of income and that income goes away, now you're basically going to exhaust that retirement account by exhausting the source of income where that money was actually coming from in the first place. You know, you imagine this, that, okay, here's your flow of income that is your job. So there's the flow of income there, and you've got some of this income stemming off now into, you know, 401k, IRA, whatever type of, maybe it's just a savings account, whatever it is. But this is contingent upon your employment income. So it's contingent upon your employment income. So this goes away, and now this all of a sudden isn't getting that new source of money. You know, maybe it's got, you know, it's a little bit of interest that it gathers from, you know, markets and things like that. But look, when the economy takes a downturn, that's maybe why your employer went away. And now your 401ks and your IRAs are taking a hit as well because of what's going on in the economy. So, and then on top of that, you want to try to cash out this money from here. Unless you're of retirement age, you're going to get hit with a penalty from the IRS. I think it's like, what, 25%? So they're going to take a quarter of that money on top of any taxes that are also charged on that for the income that you're receiving as well. So, you know, it's good to have these things. I'm not saying don't have them, but I'm saying don't rely on them, because you don't want to rely on just this. Now, you know, like I said, that's a good start. That's a good place to start out with. But now, how do we increase this even more? And I'm not talking about more savings accounts or anything like that. And there's a lot of things you could do. Like I said, in 2019, there should be no reason why you just have one flow of income. You know, get yourself one of these savings accounts and you've already duplicated and created an additional flow of income. But how else? You know, I mean, there's all these, you know, stock market things you could do now as well, which does require a kind of degree of knowledge. And with that, you know, I look at it like you're going to the casino. You know, maybe at the blackjack table you know how to count cards. That might be if you have some insider information about what's going on in the stock market, but it just gives you an advantage. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to make X amount of dollars off of these stock market trades or over the long run or whatever the case may be. But again, it's another thing that you could do to start increasing your flows of income. But what you've also got to keep in mind is it's not just about the quantity of flows, it's also about the quality of flows of income. Now, your employment, maybe it is very stable and maybe it is very steady, but chances are, if it's stable and steady, it's usually not an extravagant income. Because usually those are opposites. You don't really ever find something where it's steady and stable, but at the same time it's also a lot of money. That's usually the trade-off that you pay for steady and stable and secure income, is that it's not as much as a riskier type of investment or a riskier source of income. So again, we've got to think of how we could get additional flows in here, additional money coming in. You know, maybe that's through stocks. You know, maybe you're trying to sell stuff online, which is a really competitive space. But, you know, I know a lot of people that have made some good money selling stuff online. Maybe you're just, you know, getting on, what is it, Let It Go, that app, or Craigslist or whatever, to go sell stuff that you have that you don't need anymore. You know, that's increasing your flows. You just have to constantly be in this mindset of what can I do to increase my flows. Now, obviously, being Tampa School of Real Estate here, we've got a big one that we know a lot about that we can help you with, and that's through real estate. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is how we could use real estate as an additional flow of income. So how we could use real estate as an additional flow of income. Now, what the thought process is for so many people that are considering, you know, doing real estate, is that they've got to replace this flow of income. Now, that's something, anytime you're replacing any flows of income, whatever the case may be, whether it's your employment, whether it's the savings, whatever additional flows of income that you have, whenever you're thinking about replacing a flow of income, you need to do that with extreme caution. Because to walk away from the money that you're to basically say, hey, no more of this stream because I'm going to get this stream, which, you know, maybe this one's going to be a lot bigger. Maybe that's what you're planning. You're planning to have this huge stream of income here. So yeah, what do you need? This little tiny one, this steady and stable and secure flow of income. Well, look, that's a big myth that you need to replace your current job or your current source of income to work in real estate. That's a huge myth and a huge misunderstanding that you've got to replace. I never recommend that you jump in right away and replace, especially if this is your only source of income. Now, if you've got other sources of income, if you've planned for this, you know, if you are able to start in real estate with, you know, 6 months of living expenses set aside, then yeah, go for it. Jump in full time here. You're going to be jumping into the deep end. And what happens a lot of time, you jump into the deep end, especially if you don't know how to swim yet, you're going under. And unless you figure it out how to get to the surface, and you figure that out quickly, you're going to drown in there. And that's the same thing that happens if you just jump right into replacing this. And now the question is, how deep is that water you're jumping into? You know, if you've got some stability, if you've got some savings built up and things like that, then yeah, go make the jump into this full time. We'll help you as much as we can to get you as successful as fast as we can. But still, plan for having that security, because nothing is going to make your job more difficult than having the stress and additional burden of, am I going to be able to make this work? Am I going to be able to pay my mortgage or my rent or my car payment or my credit card payments or anything like that? So if you have those stressors going on against you, that's distracting you. That's taking your mind and your attention off of the ability to focus on creating additional flows. So what I'm going to talk about today is how you can now supplement your income. You know, if you're not doing this full-time, you're not going to make as much money as somebody that could do it full-time. Maybe you do, because maybe you just work smarter. I don't want to say that you can't do that, because there's a lot of people that just work in part-time in real estate that make more money than people working full-time, and that's because the people working full-time aren't really working full-time. They're, you know, kind of playing realtor, and that's what we want to avoid. But overall, we'll take this idea that we're not going to have a huge flow of income, but we're going to figure out how we could start to supplement our current employment. And look, maybe you love what you do currently. Maybe you're a teacher, a firefighter, a sheriff, a police officer. You work in some medical profession, and maybe you love what you do. And you appreciate the security and stability that your job offers, but you're looking for a way to increase your income, to increase your flows. So you're prepared for these unexpected circumstances. Maybe you're prepared for expected circumstances, like being able to send your kids to school, or being able to take a vacation or something like that, or being able to move into a nicer place, or getting a nicer car, whatever the case may be. In 2019, there's no reason why you should just have to rely on one source of income, and it's completely 100% possible to supplement your current income with real estate. Not replace, but supplement. Now, as you grow this real estate income, maybe you're considering now replacing it. Maybe you're liking what you're doing here, and maybe you want to replace that. And that's fine there once you know that you've got this additional flow to jump into now. And you can now focus on expanding that rather than worrying about replacing this great steady source of income with potentially nothing. So that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of today's show, is how to transition, how to make this transition to supplementing your income, not replacing it, some of the things that you could do in your current profession, and how you can overcome, again, a lot of these myths. One of the big myths is that, it costs thousands of dollars a year to be in real estate. And believe me, there's plenty of things that you could spend your money on in real estate. And depending on the situation you get yourself into, maybe it does cost you thousands of dollars a year. But that's not a requirement of having a real estate license and being able to practice real estate. So I want to teach you to be smart about this, to make the right choices for being able to supplement your income and finding what's going to be right for your business. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where we're talking about increasing your flows, not only the quantity, but the quality as well. If you focus on these two things of increasing your quantity and quality of your flows, that's really everything. It's going to entail a lot more details. But if you could focus on increasing your quantity and your quality of your flows of income, and again, avoiding replacing. I'm not talking about replacing your flows of income. That's what so many people get caught up in. They change from one job to another job, and all you're doing there is you're replacing your flow of income, which, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of bump in money. Maybe it's a little bit better benefits or whatever the case may be, but you're never really creating financial stability, because that only comes through having multiple quality flows of income. So I want to talk about, again, supplementing real estate in. And I'm not talking about, making the jump into real estate full time. Look, if that's what you're planning on doing and you've got the support system in place and the stability in place, then definitely give that a shot. Definitely try that out. There's a lot of people that have been really successful really quickly by going into it with the right head on their shoulders. But look, if you're not ready to walk away from your current flow of income, you do not have to. You could supplement your current income. And so one of the things I want to tell you about that makes this an option. So if you're already working, maybe 40, 45 hours a week in your current job, I mean, how much time do you have left? And, we'll just take out this little IRA, 401k flow here, because that's not the, you're not going to get rich off of your IRA or 401k. It'll give you some stability, but it's not going to make you wealthy having an IRA or a 401k. You can't save your way to wealth. You have to create wealth. You have to create these flows of income, so you're creating money for you. And then, you protect them with IRAs, 401ks, or much better investment options that are available out there than that. But that's what those are there. They're there to conserve the money it is that you've already made. but you don't get rich by conserving. You don't get financially stable by conserving. You have to be able to create that money in the first place. So let's say this is your week here. We've got, we'll start it with Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So here's our week. And you know, your work hours might be different than this, probably are different, but let's just assume, let's say you work from 8 a.m. to, we'll say 5 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Oh, and then on top of that, you know, let's say you got an hour for lunch here in 12 to 1. So we'll carve out this little hour here. So let's say this is what your schedule is, and let's just do the math on this here. What do we got here? 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So that's an 8-hour day. 8 hours, 5 days a week. This is if you're working 40 hours a week. It might not look exactly like this. Maybe it's not exactly like this. Maybe it's more spread out. Maybe you have a couple more hours. Maybe you're working like 45 or 50 hours. Hey, that's understandable. You know, adding a second job or any sort of second profession is going to increase your flows of income. Again, maybe it's not the best quality, and that's what you have to also think about as well. How can you increase the quality? And with a typical job, especially if you're working 2 jobs at once, then you can't always focus on the quality of each one. You've got to kind of pick and choose which one is going to have the most attention to increasing the quality of it. But let's say that you're working 40 hours a week. So let's say your current job, 40 hours. And you've got to know how many hours that you're dealing with in the week. This is, you know, so many people focus on budgeting money, and what's much more essential, what's much more important is budgeting your time. Especially as you start to create more money, you'll realize you could create more money, but you can't create more time. You know, maybe keep yourself in good health and you know, you exercise and you eat healthy. Maybe then you're increasing your time a little bit, but you can't create more hours in the week, so time is the most finite resource. So you've got 168 hours in a week. 168 hours that we start dealing with here. Now the other big thing, the other big expenditure is going to be sleep. And you know, sleep is important. Sleep is important. And look, I'm not even going to go crazy and tell you, oh, only get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. No, you know, if you need more sleep than that, I'm not going to really recommend anything more than 7 hours of sleep, though. So let's just pick that number. Let's say maximum, you're getting 7 hours of sleep. Maybe you're okay with 6. I start to get groggy if I get more than 6 hours of sleep. But let's just assume 7. So we could really make this worst case scenario to see how much time it is that we've got to deal with. We've got 40 hours a week carved out for work, 7 hours, 7 days a week. We've got 49 hours of sleep. So let's already figure out where we're sitting at here. We've got 168 hours total in a week, 49 that we're going to be sleeping, maybe less than that if you don't sleep 7 hours a night. And then we take out 40 hours for work. We're still left with 79 hours. You've got 79 hours. This is almost half the time. Just a little bit more than half is going towards sleep and work. If you cut that sleeping down to 6 hours a night, you're going to end up with more than half that's left over. So you've got 79 hours worth of time to deal with, to budget, to figure out what you could do within these 79 hours, you know, that's still good for your health and well-being. Yeah, no, so maybe we throw in the exercise in there because you want to make sure that you do live a quality life. You know, maybe you've got an hour a day for 5 days a week, and that might even be a little extreme. But let's just assume you're spending an hour a day, 5 days a week. That's 5 hours. And we still are left with 74 hours. And you might say, well, John, I've got to eat. John, I got to be able to eat. Hey, look, of course you have to eat. But look, too many people make the mistake of focusing on conservation rather than focus on creation. Because if we factor in it's going to take us 2 hours to prepare meals every day, on top of that, maybe another hour to eating these meals. So, then maybe you're spending 3-4 hours a day in preparing what you're going to eat, in consuming it, and cleaning up after it. And, a lot of people will go with the argument of, John, oh yeah, that's so much cheaper. Look, I understand. I completely understand. And not only is it cheaper, especially if you like to cook, it's probably going to taste better than most of these other things that you have. But this is where you've got to make these choices of your priorities here. Of, do you want to commit? Because if we're doing this every day, if we're spending, let's assume 3 hours a day, let's just say 3 hours a day preparing, eating, and cleaning up food, and 3 hours a day, that's tight for this amount of time. But let's just say it's 3 hours, maybe it's more than that, and that's where you want to be good at tracking your time, being aware of what you're cutting away every single day and every single week to even have the possibility of these other flows of income. So let's say it's 3 hours a day, that's 21 hours. Now, how can we cut this down? Well, let's say we're only going to take a half hour for meals. Our 3 meals, half hour each. That's an hour and a half a day. That cuts it in half. So 21 hours, if we're doing 3 hours a day for 7 days a week, cut that in half, and what do we got there? 10 and a half hours. So this is still, if we could get this down, we'll say 11 hours. And that leaves us 63 hours to work with. Maybe you do budget in a little bit more time for this year. But now we still have 63 hours to work with. And what are we going to fill this 63 hours with? Now, you can do what most people will do. And this is, not, look, I'm guilty of this as well. But, something's on TV that you got to watch. But do you? Do you have to watch it? Is what you're watching on TV, that's what's going to increase? Now, if you're watching something like this that's growing and educating you and increasing your knowledge, then great. But if you're watching some, drama or sitcom or something like that, I get sick sometimes watching this stuff because I'm just like, ugh, I just feel so unproductive. I feel like I'm wasting the time. And that's just because I know how valuable each one of these hours, each one of these minutes, each one of these seconds are of every single day. Now, going back to the visual element of this here, we could kind of carve out when it is that we're going to work on a real estate business. Because whether you're deciding to work in real estate full-time or part-time, you need to carve out some time to be able to work in real estate. So maybe you're committing to, and maybe you've got your commutes and things like that in here. So let's say that from 6 to 7, just an hour a day, we just carve out an hour a day. But we do that 7 days a week, that we're contributing an hour a day. And now, I'm not saying take a day off at all. I wouldn't take any days off until you're just completely burnt out and you just need a day. Or you're happy with where you're at, that you've gotten to the point and say, okay, you know what, I can take a day off. Because especially if you're only putting in an hour a day, and this goes whether you're practicing in your real estate business, whether you're studying for your real estate exam, whatever the case may be, the consistency and the repetition builds habits. And it'll really have ripple effects throughout the rest of your life. But by doing that an hour a day, just 1 hour, that's us devoting 7 hours of time to our business. Now, when you're first starting out, 7 hours of time is not a lot of time, and that time will go very quickly. So maybe you're going to do 2 hours. Maybe that's not anything too crazy. You're going to work 7 to 9 on building out your business. Well, now we've got 14 hours, which, that's, maybe if you're working part-time, 14 hours a week is, that seems, a decent workload you could put on here. But, maybe on top of that, you're going to spend an hour before work. So now we're spending 3 hours a day. And maybe then you're going to take half of your lunch break to work on your business. So finding these little bits of time here to supplement what you're currently doing can increase this flow. Now, if you're trying to be, full-time in real estate, going through all of this here, it's still not going to be enough time. We say full-time working, and that's like 35, 40, maybe even more hours a week. Really working until you can't work anymore. So really, if you devote all these 63 extra hours that you've got here after these essentials, then yeah, you could even fit in to work completely full-time in addition to your full-time job. And if you're looking to transition away from what you're doing, that might be what you have to do. That might be the hustle, as they call it, that you have to put in to be able to make this transition. But maybe again, maybe you like what you're doing. Maybe you like the stability. Maybe you want a little bit more balance in your life where you don't want it all to just be 100% of the time, if you're not working at your current job, that you're working in real estate. You know, maybe you're even finding time in your current day-to-day job here. And really, we've got this laid out here on Saturday and Sunday, which you didn't even realize that. So we've got no work here. Because Saturday and Sunday now, maybe we've got time to do an open house. Maybe we carve out 4 hours there. Maybe we've got some appointments that we structure out on Sunday to maybe show some homes. So it's completely possible, once you really start to look at your calendar, to figure out how you could squeeze this all in. Now, it's definitely rough. Now, what you might want to do to increase your income, but with a more minimal cost, is through the magic of referrals. Now, referrals are something I get super excited about. And referrals are something that usually are only taken advantage of by top agents, by experienced agents, by people that know what they're doing. But there's no reason why you, having a real estate license, having the legal capacity to practice real estate, cannot use referrals and use them as your sole source of income. So that's what I want to talk about. We only have a few minutes left on today's episode. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how to use referrals to minimize your workload, but also increase your flows of income at the same time. Stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey! Getting used to these new shorter commercial formats here. Anyways, we're back here on Ask the Instructor. We're talking about how to work, part-time in real estate. We got some comments coming in over on Facebook from Jenny Lynn Spears. So first thing I want to address is the 7.5 hours. And look, I'm sure there's information out there. I know from personal experience that, sometimes 6 hours isn't enough. But most of the time, I'm groggy if I'm sleeping more than that. And a big thing there, the question that you want to ask, just like a question you'd ask here, is maybe it's not so much about what you're doing during these hours here, in the same correlation with sleeping. Maybe it's not about the quantity of the hours that you're putting in, but the quality of the hours that you're putting in. Because especially when you're trying to hustle this with the minimum amount of time possible, you want to spend time with quality activity, which is why it's so important to get quality sleep, that's really the question that you want to ask for that there. But at least that's my take on it. Another question that you had, really good question, brokers going to work with new sales associates on a part-time basis. Absolutely. There are some brokers out there that do only work with full-time agents. They are very few and far between. But most brokers, you're an independent contractor where you define your schedule, you set up when it is that you want to work and don't want to work. You're the one making your appointments of what your schedule is, because this is essentially your business. So there's a lot of brokers out there that will work with agents on a part-time basis. But now the question also, because it's really about asking the right questions, which I'm glad that you brought this up here, because there are brokers that will work with you part-time, but maybe not the best broker to work with you part-time. So the question, not so much of whether or not they'll work with you on a part-time basis, but the question now of, are they good to work with on a part-time basis? Do they have systems and training and tools that are geared towards somebody just trying to work part-time in real estate? Because you're going to be hard-pressed to find a broker that will not work with you full-time. You probably will find them, but again, very few and far between. And a lot of brokers subscribe to the philosophy of, hey, I know not everyone's going to be successful. If I had a nickel for every time a broker told me, oh yeah, not everyone's going to be successful, and that's just the complete wrong mindset to go into this. Everyone can be successful. That's the type of phrasing and words I would use here. Everyone can be successful, but it's really the question of, are they going to put in that level of determination, of working the right way? And also, as a broker, are you providing the correct support for somebody that, might need different things? So anybody can be successful, and it's up to you whether or not you're going to be successful, but you also got to put yourself in the right environment and the right scenario. So, one of the things I did want to talk about here, that this is something that we're actually releasing something new, so stay tuned to us over the next couple weeks. We're just waiting on some final paperwork to get approved, but we're creating a referral brokerage specifically for new agents. So this referral brokerage, this gives you the opportunity to get additional flows of income. So let's just talk real quick about how referrals work. And you know, this is something that you can do in almost any brokerage. Almost any brokerage, you could do a referral system. But again, you've got to ask that question of, is this really the right fit for you? Because if you're just trying to work solely on a referral basis and you don't necessarily want to at this present time, because you could always change brokers if your priorities change, but right now you're just trying to supplement your income, not replace your income, but supplement your current income through referrals. You don't want to be at a broker that will charge you, you know, huge commission splits or huge fees, or where you're required to join the Association of Realtors. Just dispelling some of these myths. Now, this is what's most common in real estate. What's most common in real estate is you apply for your license and there's all these brokers that are trying to recruit you to the brokerage, and they might have some upfront fees that they charge you. Maybe there's a commission split as well. Maybe it's just a commission split. Maybe it's a monthly fee. Maybe it's an annual fee. Maybe they don't charge you fees up front, but they charge you fees on the back end. But all of these brokers are almost 100% of the time structured for somebody that's looking to work in real estate as their career. They're not necessarily designed for if you want to supplement your income, which is why we saw this opportunity and why we're running with it. Because we want to create this opportunity that's available where you're going to have minimal cost for when you're not necessarily trying to be a full-time real estate agent. And you know, there's no contracts, there's nothing requiring you to stick with us, but you'll have the opportunity to earn referral income with minimal cost, not having to join the Association of Realtors, not having to pay MLS dues, with very minimal fees to get started with this here. And that's what it's designed to be, where you're not going to have to dip into your life savings to, you know, go start a real estate career. You could start to earn money in real estate just on a part-time referral basis. And just real quick, how referrals work. So let's say that And you know, we're building out, and it's not just the paperwork here, we're building out courses that teach you how to. And you join our referral brokerage here, the name's going to be released, so stick with us over the next couple weeks and you're going to find out more about this. But we're building this out to allow you to earn the referral money, but not just allow you to do it, but teach you how to do it. How to build relationships with successful agents who do work full-time in real estate. Because what you're doing essentially, so let's say you've got a friend or family member that wants to buy a house or sell a house. Maybe that's why you're thinking about getting a real estate license, because you know somebody. Almost everybody knows somebody that needs real estate, because everyone needs shelter. It's just whether or not they need that right now, whether they need to make that transition right now. So let's say you might know somebody, a friend, a family member, somebody that needs to, you know, buy or sell, maybe even rent. Let's say it's a sale, and let's say we'll take about an average price home here in Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County, an average price home, it's about $277,000, but we'll keep the math easy and just round it up to $300,000. It's not a huge difference on the actual total commission amount between that extra $23,000 here of sale price. So the way this typically works is there's a commission rate that's negotiated between the buyer and the seller and the brokers. And typically this is negotiated between the seller and the broker. It can be negotiated across all these parties, but almost always it's negotiated by the seller's agent, where they maybe agree to a 6% commission that they're going to pay when they sell the house, and it gets split 50-50 between the two brokers. So ultimately what that means, if your friend needs to buy a piece of real estate. So let's do the math on, let's say if you're going to help them out and you're going to get this 3% commission. So if you're actually working, doing the in the trenches in real estate here, and you want to earn that 3%, so 3% on $300,000 is $9,000. So a $9,000 commission. So if you're looking to actually work in real estate and you've got the time and the ability and you want to be able to make money, that's what's on the table. But let's say maybe you don't know the whole sales process yet. Maybe you're not comfortable working with people yet. Maybe you don't want to risk maybe blowing it, but you want to still make some of this money with the security that somebody who knows what they're doing is going to be able to make that full $9,000. So let's say you refer this to an agent who is really great at working with clients, really takes care of them, makes this $9,000. Now, you could just send this to them, and if you don't have a real estate license, let's say your friend has a real estate license, if you refer them this business, your friend that needs to buy this $300,000 house, you refer that to them and they make $9,000, they legally cannot pay you a penny. They can't even take you out to dinner. That would be a third-degree felony for them compensating you without having a real estate license. And a third-degree felony, you go to jail for up to 5 years. The Florida Real Estate Commission takes this extremely seriously. So if you do want to earn any piece of this, you've got to have a real estate license. And this is really common because a lot of agents where they've got a client that's, let's say they're selling their home here in Tampa, and let's say they're moving, out to California. Well, if they're selling here in Tampa and they're moving out to California, we could absolutely help them sell here in Tampa. But we don't have a California real estate license. We're not going to fly out to California and try to figure out the California market and go join the California Association of Realtors and California MLS and all this other stuff to work across state lines. So what very commonly happens is you find an agent in California that you could refer your client to, and then you negotiate some sort of referral fee, which 25% is a fairly typical referral fee. Now, this you negotiate with the agent. So maybe they're a better negotiator and they negotiate out less. Maybe you negotiate more. Again, that's up to you, what you negotiate with the client. But we'll say 25% because that's a fairly common referral fee. So on $9,000 at 25%, this comes out to $2,250. So if you're referring this out to somebody in California to go help in California, they could send you a referral fee back of 25% of their commission, which would be $2,250. So now you make the $9,000 selling their house here in Tampa, you make $2,250 on them purchasing the house there in California, and you're making a little over $11,000 on this one client. Now, enter referrals. So that was a referral fee right there, but you don't necessarily have to help them sell this house to be able to earn that referral fee. Maybe this referral fee that you're earning is off of the sale of their house. Because, again, you're just trying to supplement your income. And you have the person, and you want to refer this to your friend or somebody you know that knows what they're doing in real estate, that has a real estate license, you can negotiate a 25% referral fee. Now, you got to make sure you use the right contract, the right form, you fill it out appropriately, that you've got an active real estate license, because if your real estate license is not active, meaning that you're registered with a broker, again, you can't earn a penny on this. But if you've got an active real estate license, now you could earn that 25% referral fee just for your friends selling their house right here in Tampa. And if they're also buying a house, again, having the appropriate forms, the appropriate contracts, the appropriate contacts, and it's really about building a network of agents to refer to. You don't necessarily have to do any of the work except for make the connection, to make that connection between them wanting to buy or sell and you brokering this deal. You could earn that referral fee. And this takes minimal time, it takes minimal effort. Maybe you don't get 25% here, but even if you just negotiated a 10% referral fee, that's $900 here on this $9,000 commission. So there's a lot of money to be made just in the referral space alone, but usually the only agents that take advantage of this are experienced agents who know the power of referral fees. And that's why we're creating this referral fee brokerage that exists specifically for agents to be able to refer out their clients, their friends, their family members, their contacts, whoever it is that you meet. It's not limited to just your friends and family. Maybe you're just out there, you're somebody who's highly involved in the community that has a big network of people. And if you get known as the person who has the connections in real estate, and you're making those connections to people that work in real estate who will do the work, the legwork of actually making these transactions, again, maybe it's not a 25% commission, a 25% referral fee that you're negotiating. Maybe negotiate lower than that because you want to, focus on building a network for the long term. But, 10%, that's still $900. And then maybe as much as 25%. And who knows, maybe you charge 30, maybe you charge 50% of a referral fee. That's up to you and how good of a negotiator it is that you are. And as part of this brokerage, we're adding courses that teach you how to use these forms, that teach you how to build your network of referrals, how to find the right agents that you need to talk to, how to present yourself as an expert in real estate. So you come across as an authoritative subject on the matter. So referrals are extremely powerful. So if you're interested in that, give us a call. We can put you on the wait list for information for that. That phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, it does require a real estate license in order to earn referral fees. You cannot legally earn a real estate referral fee without having an active real estate license. The difference we're making is we're making this process easier. We're making an entity that's not only easy, but at minimal cost, where you open up this opportunity and this door at minimal cost to you. Now we're going to take another quick commercial break, but we just got a few closing words after this. Stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. Just the final closing words that are left through today. Just some things to take away with. So first thing that I want to help you understand is that there's a lot of myths out there about starting in real estate, about being able to be successful in real estate. The only limitations you have are within yourself. Now, there is a lot of knowledge that's required. You want to make sure that you're making smart choices and smart decisions, which is why we exist to help you build a successful real estate career. We want to help you in any ways that we can, and this special brokerage that we're unveiling in the next couple of weeks here is another way that we want to be able to help you to supplement your income, to build yourself into a more successful person, to increase your flows of income. That's the really, if you take away anything from today, whether you're interested in real estate or not, it's number one, increase your quantity of flows, and number two, increase your quality of flows. So you always want to be trying to add additional flows, but then also focus on having quality flows. You know, maybe you've got 100 low quality flows. That's going to take more time and attention than, let's say, if you've got 10 high quality flows, or even just 2 or 3 high quality flows of income. You know, the referral thing we talked about at the end, that's just one way you could increase your flows and income. Maybe you're actually practicing real estate, so that's where you now have the opportunity to, you know, not just do work with buyers, but work with sellers, to work with renters, to work with investors, to work in property management, to work with home builders and new construction. There's so many ways to make money and so many opportunities that exist out there. You just got to think about, how can I increase these flows and how can I build these flows to be larger, so they're not just a drip of income, but they're a fire hose stream of income. That's what you want to think about here. So that's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, we're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern time, to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. On Fridays, we've got State of Real Estate to help you mastermind and make more money in real estate. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got questions about real estate, of how you can make some money in real estate, what opportunities exist out there, how you get started, give us a call. The phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. It's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys, and I'll see you Friday.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com. Have you been thinking about starting a career in real estate? Enjoy an entrepreneurial lifestyle that allows for schedule flexibility with unlimited income potential. In real estate, the sky is the limit, and what you put in is what you get out. Learn more about a career in real estate at tampaschool.com. Have you completed your FREC required post-licensing course? There's still time before your next renewal. At the the Tampa School of Real Estate, our classroom and online courses will meet your FREC requirement and teach you real-world information applicable to your business. Learn more and enroll today at postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.